I'm a bad motherfucker.
Dude,
that's who they are. That's their actual track record. That's what they're about. So here's Tucker now denying evolution on Joe Rogan's podcast. 700,000 views he shared.
Cares about you. You're important to the people around you.
If we don't think people are important, then what do we think is important? I guess that's what I'm saying.
Not necessarily that we don't think people are important, but if evolution is real, and if there is this constant, I don't know, but it's visible. Like you can measure it in certain animals.
You can measure adaptation.
Yeah,
but there's no evidence that in fact, I think we've kind of given up on the idea of evolution.
What world is he living in? No evidence and given up on the idea? Like, what kind of alternative universe is he living in? Seriously. Fox News land?
CIA universe. Yeah. Absolute disinfo, FUD posting, mass confusion agent.
Dude, universe. It's all because these people are religious that they want to deny all the science. It's 100% because they have, it contradicts the Bible, so it must be a lie. Because God just snapped his fingers and made Adam from clay, and Eve came from his rib. That's the way the Bible says it happened. That's what they believe.
Jay Dyer, who is also a CIA agent,
a Russian agent,
has predicting that the next op is the UFO op, and he's been saying that it might be that they have aliens, come down and say that we all have to unite, or else they're going to hurt us, or something weird like that. But the other way that it could go is also that they say that these are actually, there's a spiritual war going on, and that's what the UFOs are, and the government knows, and then we have to basically start, like, they can justify essentially a new world religion. It might be a no-eyed religion.
Chat says no evidence of macro evolution. Yes, there is actually. They do the DNA sequencing, and they can see like the whole all life, how it goes on the family tree. Every species that exists and has ever existed has been a link in evolution. They go, because that's what Tucker's going to say is, they've never found any fossils, any proof of a, interspecies transition. No, that everything is. These people, every one of these people is denying it because they want the Bible to be real. They want God to be real. But let's continue on.
The theory of evolution as articulated by Darwin is like kind of not true.
Right? In what sense?
Well, in the most basic sense.
Let's get real. This guy, what did he take? High school biology? And that's it? And got a D, but his dad got him into college because he's in the CIA?
Right. He starts off in this interview saying he's like such a special guy because he doesn't have an email address. Like he says that he wants to send something to Joe, and he's like, I'll text it to you. And he's like, why don't you email it? Oh, I don't have email. I don't do that. I don't do email. I don't have a computer. I don't even have a TV, he says. So he's a total Luddite. He's just like a cool guy. He's too cool for the internet or anything. But then he's going to come out and say that he's got it all figured out. Like, haven't we all just dropped evolution by now? I don't even believe any of that. I think he's full of shit. I heard him on another interview too. No, he was on a podcast. He was on Full Send podcast. He says that he has like 6 dogs and they all sleep on his bed. He has nothing but daughters who are all up and out of the house. And now him and his wife live at home, empty nest. And he has 6 dogs who all sleep on the bed with him. This guy's weird.
That is weird. 6 dogs?
Yep. 6
dogs?
Big ass like hunting dogs. And they all like those kind of dogs. And they those are his children now. And they sleep on his bed.
And this is controversial.
No internet, no email.
Yeah. His evolution take. I mean, can't you just see the evolution? Can't you just see the transition?
You kind of do look like a monkey.
Straight from monkeys. Little minor adaptation changes, and you get us. Like, we are apes. We are monkeys.
Yep.
Deal with it.
Well, especially you. I mean, look at that.
Especially me.
But yeah, man. Like, I don't know how it works. I mean, there's some weird mysteries going on in like the mechanism by which it happens, like how it works. Like
mutations, genetic mutations.
I just mean like but why and how do they work? I don't know. And they do appear to, but there's things like the Cambrian explosion where all of a sudden there was like one strata in the Earth's layers that just like there's just like a million new forms of life, just like
from like single cell to multi-cell, which was like a billion.
There's big explosions forward, and there's a lot of things that we're learning now about. Actually, check this out. I was watching. There's a life extension. That's not the right. there's a type of scientist. He's studying. He was on this podcast I was listening to. He's a leading guy in essentially like trying to undo aging, and they found that there's a place in the epigenetic place in our genes, because we have the DNA is written in a certain way, but then there's an epigenetic process, meaning like above the genetics, where it's the essentially like the program by which that information unfolds. So the DNA is kind of like the hard drive, but the epigenetics is like the software. Mm-hmm. And they can already like reverse aging in mice, and they can heal blindness, and they can speed up aging too. They can do things to the genes, activating and deactivating parts using the epigenetic techniques that they're learning in labs. They can make a mouse rapidly age, and also even reverse. They can refresh its organs to basically just like brand new. And it's like amazing. So they're cracking the code on that. But what they figured out through that is that there's actually things in our genetics that the epigenetics are just as influential in our expression and our mutation as the genetics. So it's not actually just random mutation of the genes. It's even things that you experience in life that can change the way your offspring behave.
Yeah.
And there are, so it's like
evolution
very,
is influenced by people's by species experiences, and their food and stuff.
So what we're finding out is it's not just survival of the fittest. It's not just natural selection. Like the birds with the longer beaks were able to eat more seeds, and therefore they were able to fuck more and breed more and stuff like that. It's not just that. It's actually even birds flying around, maybe even thinking or having the feeling that they wish their beak was longer. That can actually possibly be affecting the genetics to where their offspring come out with longer beaks. Like if they were having, or if their beak needs to be harder to be able to peck through the bark or something, they might develop that even just by almost like willing it or wanting. In the same way they develop instincts, and like animals come out of the womb or out of the egg with instincts. They know how to act, they know how to breathe, they know how to eat, they know how to hunt, they know how to build a nest. They don't have to be taught. It's just in them with cellular memory. In the same way, maybe by the same mechanism, that memory, that information it's actually changing our physical form as we go as well. So there's something maybe even linked to our like our mind, our consciousness, something affecting the cells and the memory in our DNA.
Especially I know like humans that go through famines, like their kids are like all weaker and stuff. If you're pregnant, especially when you're having certain experiences and what you're exposed to, when you're actually the baby's in the womb and you're procreating, that's when that really gets affected. Eru says, thank you, Adam, for supporting evolution. Yeah, it's kind of controversial. And the other thing is evolution could be completely true, and there could still be a God. God doesn't necessarily debunk evolution. Like you can make the case that the only way evolution would ever work is because that's what, God set it in motion or something. But, I want to talk to JFG. JFG, how do you say it? Jerry Epi. He has a book all on like RNA and how life could have started from nothing. But I think it's most likely that our planet was seeded with life from another planet somewhere.
Could have been. Really could have been.
And life just like spreads around the universe, like on asteroids or just space dust and spores or something like that. That's more likely than it starting on its own independently in every single planet, in the universe.
True. It still begs the question, well, how did it start on that other one? But I mean, honestly, at some point, it just doesn't matter that much. It's like, maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't.
Well, think of it this way. If like you need everything, all the ducks to align in a row just perfectly for like the first cell to come about, and then that can like replicate. If it only like, just say there's a lottery and you're trying trillions and trillions of time. There's trillions of galaxies, trillions of planets, so many opportunities that it could be 1 in 10 trillion chance of life forming, just like with a lightning strike and the right chemicals or whatever. It only has to happen one time in a trillion. But if the universe is like eternal and been around for trillions of years and is infinitely big, it would eventually happen somewhere because there's so many rolls of the dice.
True. There's enough. Yeah, it only has to happen once, or like, has to just survive once, get it going. And it could just be out there.
Yep.
Who knows?
Eru for 100. Thank you so much, Eru. He's really happy about the evolution talk. We might have to turn this into a science show for the science bros. Eru says, Adam, the Jews have as much to lose because of evolution as the Christians do. It partly is true because a lot of Christians believe, well, how do we get here? You believe in the black hole? I mean, the Jewish God is the real answer. Like, they believe in it because of the mystery of life and existence.
True. Yeah, true. And Tucker's going to say that in a minute. And, Joe's going to ask him, well, how do you think we got here? He's going to say, same way they always had them. God made us.
It's like 1 million years ago, 500 million years ago, 200,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, and today. Like, that's the time frame we're talking here.
Idea that, you know, all life emerged from a single cell organism and over time, and there would be a fossil record of that, and there's not. And
there's not a fossil record of transitionary species, like species that are adapting to its environment.
There's tons of record of adaptation, and you see it in your own life. I mean, I have a lot of dogs. I see adaptation in dogs, you know, through the
the dogs,
litter to litter. But no, there's no evidence at all that zero that
completely ignorant or lie
evolve seamlessly from a single cell amoeba. No, there's not. There's no change.
Actually, you can see the development in the brain from primates, mammals, to amphibians, to reptiles, and on and on and on. Like, you've seen the tree of life. They've done the things where it's like the little, you know, the fast progression of evolution starts with fishes, bacteria, and then little fishes, and then the amphibians and reptiles, and then mammals, and then primates, and then us. You can see it.
Yeah, you absolutely can. You can see the different sections are, you know, we have like what they call it the reptilian section, because like a crocodile's got almost the same thing that we have as like the core of our brain. It's very, very similar. And you can see it in the embryonic development too. You can see like a very baby, like from the zygote to the time they go through the embryonic development, it goes through a stages where it's like a little salamander, and then it's a little lizard, then it looks like a little baby chicken, and then it goes through like,
we all kind of look the same in the womb at one point in the very beginning.
Yeah, you can see like almost like a,
and you can see it like DNA sequencing. You can see how much DNA we have with other things. Like, you know what I heard recently? We have more similar DNA to mushrooms than we do to plants. And think of mushrooms, how they're more like fleshy type of cell bacteria or cell structure.
In the fossil record of that at all. And that's why you don't actually hear people, you hear them make reference to evolution, because the theory of adaptation is clearly, obviously true. But Darwin's theory's totally that's why it's still a theory almost 200 years later, you know.
And he smiles when he says that. This is like the most dumb, most typical talking point that creationists use. Oh, it's just a theory. It doesn't mean it's real. The way they use theory in science is like, you could have a proven theory. They still call it a theory.
Yeah. Are you going to deny gravity too? Because gravity is a theory. It's just like it's a way of explaining what we're observing. It's just the qualification of that idea. It's the theoretical,
right? Because
it's basically just because we can't reproduce it in a lab yet, and we don't know the exact mechanism. We don't have it nailed down. It's just we're working with. This is the idea that best explains what we got going. There's not a new theory, but the thing is, he's acting like that theory has been supplanted by a better theory. It hasn't. Like, that's the best one we got. And that's just the best one we got. That doesn't mean that it's false. You know, theory doesn't mean false. Theory means that's how much we know about it now. So you don't get to call it a law yet. It's not like a mathematical, physical law.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, everybody knows that. But Tucker is like you know, I'm just like
it's like mic drop. It's a theory. Mic drop.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, and Joe's just sits there like,
Yeah, he's such a bitch. He's a pussy interviewer, like that he doesn't push back on some stuff. Pulling the String says, it's just a quote theory, says the religious people who believe something with no evidence on blind faith. Exactly. Has monkeys morphed into humans? We have a common ancestor. We didn't come from monkeys. It's so sad how scientifically illiterate and uninformed people are, that they repeat these low-level talking points that are just so, like, people that know about evolution just like laugh at these objections. Here's a little an AI created. You can, oh, they didn't go all the way to humans, but you can just see how little changes over time and it can happen.
No, we have not found that at all. And I can't even guess. I mean, I have my own theories on it.
And like, think about how there's like so many species that have gone extinct over time. There's so many, like, how many birds are there? There's like a million different species of bird, right? So God's just like, how many birds? Let's just make a million different ones. No, these are all products of evolution. we're not intelligent design either. Talk about intelligent design. Why do most women and babies die in childbirth naturally? Oh, it's because they're cursed because Adam and Eve took the apple. Yeah, the Christians had to come up with an excuse to deal with that. Why do we get ingrown hairs and so easily, you know, the bodies are not intelligently designed by any means. If there was intelligence, in fact, it's like unintelligent designs in a lot of way where things could have been done so much better. Like we could have 2 tubes, another example. So many people have choked and died because we have to eat through the same tube that we breathe from. So if something gets clogged in there, you can't breathe and you die. Hey, what if we just had 2 separate tubes? That would never happen. That would be a better design, but that's not what happened.
Well, nah, you're just mad. You just hate God.
I just hate God.
Yeah.
You just got daddy issues.
You're just a hater. You just don't see the beauty.
Oh, so you believe the Jew science? Like they just have a monopoly on every. There's no Gentile ever discovered anything.
You either believe the Jew science or you believe the Jew God story.
Yeah, fairy tale.
Either the Jew God breathed you into existence from the dirt, or you're a Jewish science shill.
Chat says, this is low tier for you, Adam. If I wanted to watch someone debunk young earthers, I would go to Reddit. That's funny. Here's another one. My armpits smell all the time. Definitely not intelligent. There you go. Also, B.O., not very intelligent. Our teeth rotting out of our mouth without dentist and getting cavities drilled by the time you're in your 40s, you know? Not intelligent. It wouldn't be cool if we grew new teeth? A tooth gets fucked up, grow a new tooth. Wouldn't that be nice?
True.
Like
maybe
sharks.
We'll be able to, though.
What?
With some of that really fancy Jewish science, maybe we'll be able to pretty soon. Maybe we'll be able to regrow our limbs with the AI Messiah when he comes. We'll be able to regrow our teeth, regrow our skin and our organs, regrow limbs.
Yeah. Kidney stones.
I'm gonna have a tail. It's gonna be based.
Tail would be based.
But they're not proven.
What are your theories?
God created people, you know, distinctly, and animals. I mean, I think what every person on Earth thought until the mid-19th century, actually.
Right, but
it's not a new idea.
Whoa. Okay, this guy's autistic or something? That laugh?
See what I mean? He's a total freaking loon.
This is the number one broadcaster in America. It's like people are comparing him to, what's the old Fox guy? The old Fox #1 guy. Not Hannity. The other one. Somebody will tell me in the chat, but he said the tides go in, the tides go out. It's all because of God. God did it. No, it's because of the moon, actually. And we know that. To say, well, before we discovered evolution, everybody believed the Bible forever. Like, that's a good argument.
He like busts out. Yeah,
chat says Tucker is our only hope. That's sad.
I think what every person on Earth thought until the mid-19th century, actually.
Right, but
it's not a new idea.
They didn't have.
Yeah, it's not a new idea. So what's your theory? God just did it? Like, that's not an answer, by the way. That's just saying, it's magic. He just snapped his fingers and it just like a Marvel character. He just came up from the dust. He just made him Adam with the dust. And then he planted the tree, and then he let the serpent in there and Satan in there to test him. It's like, come on, like that's the explanation. It's not even trying. Just like magic did it. It's a non-answer. At least evolution people, scientists are trying to find an answer. But like it says, I comment earlier, even in the Darkening Age, the book about how anti-intellectual and anti-science the Dark Ages and Christianity has always been. Anything that contradicts them, you know, we revolve around the sun. The sun doesn't revolve around us. It's like, blasphemy. We're the center of the universe. Jerusalem is the center of the universe.
Yeah.
We don't rotate around the sun. And then we got flat earthers today. The sun's fake. The moon's fake. The firmament's real. The stars are angels. Like, get the fuck out of here. Come on. All to appease and capitulate to a Jewish fairy tale book.
Computers, they didn't have a general understanding that we have today of the process.
Do you think we understand more now?
Yes.
Yes,
Really? I think we understand more today.
We understand way less. We understand so little that we're actually sitting here allowing like a bunch of greedy, stupid, childless software engineers in Northern California to like flirt with the extinction of mankind.
Yeah, they're only able to flirt with the extinction because they have so much technology, because we know way more now. Tucker is retarded. Here's the Tucker aliens comment. Let's get your thoughts on this. I never cover aliens on my show. Almost
When
never.
you say spiritual, like what makes you draw that conclusion that they're spiritual?
What's the obvious? I mean,
Drummer Base World says Tucker is an anti-intellectual Christ-cucked agent. I remember I had a clip of Alex Jones going, Tucker's born again. Tucker believes in Jesus now. He's fully red-pilled. He believes in Yeshua HaMashiach now.
I was thinking the same thing. This reminds me of when you remember when Alex did that whole arc where he was like, I know Q personally. We talk on the phone. Q is my friend, and I can tell you that there's stuff going on with the white hats behind the scenes. And, you know, Alex with his Jesus shilling and stuff. And Tucker, he brushed up on, you know, white replacement, and he like went hard on the border and everything. It's almost like he Pied Pipered everybody. You know, he was against Trump, hates Trump, but he like shilled to the MAGA base, got them to love him with like signaling toward some of the issues that they care about. And then now he's just going to lead them all into this kooky zone. He's just going to lead them all into like reinforce their kookiness.
Once a shill, always the shill. Oh, he's covering some stuff. They've got to cover a little truth to get you to listen. You know that, right?
Yep. And everybody wants to give him a pass for doing it. But like, look who this guy is. Like we just watched. He's like the anti-Buchanan guy, and they do run these ops. We just watched the Robert Stone thing with Trump, and they ran Buchanan off, and they run these little wedge defenses where they'll give you some ground while they're leading you off track. They don't try to just stop you. That's the foolish way to do it. They don't stop you in your tracks and shut you down exactly. They'll just they'll keep your momentum going. They'll say, oh, that's what you want, and they'll give you more of that, but they'll also lead you to the left or to the right, away from your target. All they got to do is make you miss the target. They don't got to stop you and shut you down. So Tucker will get out, and he'll feed you some things you want, and then he'll bring you over into a weird place. And you know, instead of everybody being now, you know, imagine how bold everybody who believes in creationism and aliens are demons and all this stuff, like that's what this whole thing is about. So now all the Q-tards and everybody else and the flat earthers and everybody, you know, and there's even some of them in the chat. I don't even know how to tell what's real anymore. Like I have some people in my chat just like to shit post, and they think it's funny, the irony of pretending to be flat earth and whatever. But the flat earthers showed up immediately when we talked about evolution and gravity, and they're like, no, there's no such thing as gravity. It's just relative density. And so they have all these weird shit. We're just so lost. There's just no way back. Everybody's so retarded because at the end of the day, it's just like all about the Jew curse and when God made us from dust, and, you know, we're all just on this rock for a short while. It's a vapor, and then we're going to the afterlife. And, you know, you just, just enjoy your fucking Bud Light, and, you know, what else are you going to do? Is what it is. If we could just stop the pedophiles, that'd be great. But, you know, we probably can't stop them neither. So it's like, what you gonna do?
Just pray. Jesus is going to return.
Well, when you say spiritual, like what makes you draw that conclusion that they're spiritual?
What's the obvious? I mean, spiritual may be the wrong word. Supernatural. You know, they're beyond nature as we understand it. I mean, obviously they are. I mean, just chart their physical behavior. It doesn't, you know, it goes outside of what we understand about physics. No visible means of propulsion, you know, coming at indescribable speed, hitting the ocean, continuing at speeds that are impossible undersea. I mean, in other words, if I take a, you know, 9mm rounder, 7.62 by 39, and shoot you at 50 yards underwater in a swimming pool, and it's even more intense in salt water because it's denser, you could catch the bullet if it even makes it to you, right? So if you have a craft, any object underwater that's traveling at 500 knots as measured by sonar, right there, you're challenging our understanding of physics. Like, what is that? How can
so
that
check
be?
this out. So he'll say that there's no evolution evidence, but then he's acting like it's an absolute taken for granted fact that there are objects traveling at 500 knots under the water faster than a speeding bullet.
I've never seen that video. Have you?
We all know there's UFOs, and we all know that it's for sure happening, and it's absolutely real, and there's no doubt about that. It's
a fact.
Yeah. So he acts like that's a fact, but you know, theorizing evolution as an origin of species is like, oh, that's all been debunked.
Round a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical brace, soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate shitty coffee? I, for one, really hate shitty coffee, which is why I'm excited to introduce to you a company that's revolting against shitty coffee, and it's called the 1775 Coffee Company. Now, I haven't had it yet because I only drink decaf. Steph has had it. Steph, how do you like it?
I really like it. I've been, you know what? I have a French press, and so I've been using my French press and totally enjoying it. It's delicious. It's smooth. It's smooth.
So 1775, the world in 1775, the world awakened to a new era. And now it's 1775 Coffee Company is bringing you a coffee that embodies that revolutionary spirit. Crafted with passion and precision, our beans are ethically and exclusively sourced from the finest coffee beans farms of Bolivia. Didn't know that. 1775 Coffee Company's farm-to-cup journey ensures the highest quality of authenticity and sustainability from start to finish. With each sip, your palate will recognize and appreciate the dedication and passion that goes into crafting this single-sourced brew. 1775 Coffee Company takes pride in offering customers a truly exceptional coffee experience with their premium coffee collection. But their dedication to this revolution extends beyond the realm of taste. Safeguarding freedom of speech is critical right now, which is why 1775 Coffee Company has joined forces with Rumble in defense of one of our most fundamental rights, freedom of speech. Coffee that's sure to awaken all your senses, including the sense of freedom. So choose 1775 Coffee by going to 1775coffee.com/litter. That's LITTER, and use the code LITTER for 10% off the checkout on your first order. 1775 Coffee, brewed to perfection, crafted with revolution.